Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. Okay, come on, Denise. You can do this. Enough sitting there staring at the screen. All right. Call me Ishmael. All right, okay. You can do it. You can do it. Something that hasn't already been written before. All right. It was the best of times. It was the worst. Oh my goodness. Okay, come on. Come on, Denise. Come on, you're Denise Montgomery. You can do this. You are the best-selling New York Times best-selling author of Under the Bed, Up on the Roof. Watch out, that's sharp. Come on, Denise. You've done it before. You know writer's block. Just get rid of it. Just write something. Come on, you know how to write a book. Let's see. All happy families are happy in the same goddamn bed. Oh, I got it. I know what I'll do. I will turn to the muses, right? That's what Elizabeth Gilbert says to do. And she's certainly having a career. Okay. All right. Muses, are you out there? It's me. It's Denise Montgomery. I'm sitting down here at my computer every day. I am an open channel. Look, if you're out there, could you just go ahead, log into your YouTube account, say hello, right? Just say hello so I know you're listening. And you could log into Facebook too, if that's easier for you, and just type into the chat, say hello. And let's see. Oh, yeah, Ruby. Hi, Muse Ruby. That's fantastic. And Muse Griffin. Oh, thank you so much for being here. Hello, Muse Karen. Oh, I'm feeling better already. And Muse Lynn. Okay. I feel myself calming down. I already feel the juices flowing. So look, since you're here, if you could, Muses, could you just, I have to write this book. I'm on a killer deadline. I've been showing up. I deserve a little inspiration because I'm doing my half of the bargain here. Could you give me just a title for a book, right? It all comes from the title. So if you just give me a title, I'm sure I can get this going. All right. Any title at all. And then just type it into your YouTube or Facebook, and I will and I'll go from there. Right. Opening my channel. Oh, hello, Muse Arastu. See, it's a party. It's just whatever you come up with, I'm sure it'll be great. Perfect. Thank you. The Last Regret. Oh, what a perfect title. Okay, I'm ready. Oh, nope. Okay, I said I only need a title, but I also need just an opening line for the book. The very first line for the book, because we know that great books have great first line. So The Last Regret will be the title of our book. And I just need one first opening line. Opening the channel. I'm opening it. I'm listening for your inspiration. The Last Regret. And the first line of the book, just type it into your YouTube. That's the way I can hear you. Give me my lollipop back. Yes, that's perfect. Give me my lollipop back. Oh, all right. All right, I can do it now. Thank you so much, Muses. I'm sure I can do you proud. All right, here we go. The Last Regret by Denise Montgomery. Give me my lollipop back, Miranda Smothers shouted at her fourth grade substitute teacher. Miranda knew that she got everything she wanted just the way she wanted all the time.
Give it back.
No, it's about time you learned you don't get everything you want, Miranda Smothers.
You single me out all the time. That's why, what is it? Did somebody do that to you when you were a kid? So you got to pick on me?
Yes, somebody did do that to me when I was a kid. And do you know who it was, Miranda? It was your mother.
Excuse me, Mr. Jackson?
Well,
I came here because I heard you had been picking on my dear, darling Miranda.
your dear darling Miranda has been flouting the rules of this institution, just like you did, Geraldine, when you were a child. I was powerless to do anything about it then because I was small and cowardly. But I'm not small and cowardly anymore, and now I can take it all out on your 9-year-old daughter.
That's only what you think. You forget who the head of the PTA is. I will protect my dear, darling, perfect, sweet, beautiful, intelligent daughter, Miranda. You'll see.
You think you can come in here into my kingdom and speak to me that way? Look around at the walls of this classroom, the art hanging on the bulletin boards, the paper mache Snoopies lining the bookcase, the alphabet rug on the floor. Do you think all of those became here instantaneously by themselves? No, I made those. I put those there. This is my domain, and I shall rule.
You forget the plaque by the front door of the school that says that I, Geraldine, have been Volunteer of the Year for 4 years straight. Volunteers are hard to find, harder to find than teachers.
Is that a threat, Geraldine?
Yes, it is. You will be hearing from the principal. I'm going to tell the principal now.
That's what happens when you do revenge detention.
You listen to me. I don't care what anyone says. I am the king of this kingdom, and I worked hard to get here, and nobody's going to disrespect me.
That's right. Mr. Jackson, Fred, knew that in the outside world, he might be a small, powerless little man. But here in his 4th grade classroom, he was king. He decided every little dot of decoration. He signed his name and decrees were issued. He could make laws. He could, and with that, he started a little dance. He danced with the joy of the king of his castle. He jumped on top of desks. He did somersaults through the aisles. He took the chalk and threw it in various places where he wasn't supposed to throw chalk. He broke all the rules he could. The only place he ever felt free. Then he heard the bell ring for the next period, and he composed himself. There was only one thing Mr. Jackson really wanted, and it was the one thing that he didn't have control over in this classroom.
Oh, Geraldine, why can't you love me?
End of chapter 1. Well, Geraldine Smothers was not happy. She marched right into that principal's office, Miranda in tow, and spoke her mind.
Look at my dear, darling daughter, Mrs. Weston. She's at the point of tears because she has been bullied again by that horrible Mr. Jackson.
Geraldine, I know that you're the volunteer of the year for 4 years in a row. And anything that you say, I will take very seriously. Now, Miranda, were you not substitute teaching that day?
Well, I'm 9, so I don't usually teach.
Well,
Miranda was trying to help the other students by pointing out their mistakes.
That's true, Mom. And I kept, every time somebody would do something and Mr. Jackson would call on them, I had to say something. I did. I had to correct him because he was wrong half the time. And the class was just confused. So yes, in a way, I was teaching.
Miranda really likes to help the other children. She's a soft-hearted, compassionate child like I was.
And I really like to point out people's flaws because I think that that helps them learn.
I think that's the problem then. You see, Fred, as I call him, has a very, very thin skin. Not only that, but when nobody's watching, he does very silly things in the classroom. And Miranda, I'm afraid that you threaten him on some level. Yes, I know this is a little advanced for you, but since you were trying to be a substitute teacher that day, I think you're up for the challenge.
Yeah, I just think it's transference from what he had to experience with my mother, and he's just passing it down to me. So I am just a projection of what he wants with my mother. It's obvious.
Mrs. Weston, you probably don't know this, but Freddie, as I used to call him when we were young, I turned him down for years. For the junior prom, for the senior prom, for the sock hops. And I'm afraid he never got over it. It's sad.
Well, that could explain a whole other level of transference, because perhaps he's transferring his rejection towards you.
That's brilliant. Yes. I never thought of that myself. Oh, I hope you can do something about it. Perhaps transfer him to a different school.
I will get on that. You know, I know how important this school is to him.
And she did get right on that, sending Miranda off with a new fresh lollipop and promising Geraldine to take care of it. She walked right into Fred's classroom.
Fred Jackson.
Oh, Principal.
I ask you to please put that hula hoop away when I come in to speak to you.
I was only testing its structural integrity for the children.
I don't agree with your theory on the way that the hula hoop replicates the equator around the globe. I think it's just a ploy for you to play with children's toys.
Why, Principal, that's ridiculous. I'm a grown man and a professional school teacher. I am a pedagogue.
Let me let you know one thing. When I was in college, I almost minored in psychology. And I have developed a theory about you. It's called transference. And it leads to something very serious. It leads to transferring to another school.
Another school? Are you threatening my employment here at PS 12?
Yes.
Although on the outside, Fred Jackson was aggressive and harsh. On the inside, he felt his heart breaking. If he couldn't stay as the permanent sub in Miranda's classroom, he would have no connection to Geraldine at all. His one last chance would be gone.
I know how much our volunteers mean to you. And let me say that the school I'm transferring you to doesn't have any volunteers.
Principal, please, I beg of you, don't send me away.
I say you need that knapsack over there to pack up your toys, including those lawn darts, which are illegal anyway. Now, I want you gone by first period tomorrow. Do you understand? Here's the address for your new school.
But
Good luck.
And so Mr. Jackson packed what he could into his backpack and set off for the most devastating exile he could possibly think of.
adult education.
End of chapter 3.
Mom, give me my phone back. Give it back. You're
Caroline, I told you that if you couldn't be responsible, you couldn't have your phone. What was unclear about that? And you can't just pop in using your laptop to, I'm trying to write, this is inappropriate. I said no screen time, no phones, no computers.
I need my phone, Mom. I have really important things to do. All my friends are needing my advice, and I can't help them if I don't have a phone.
Well, they're just going to have to make do without your incredible wisdom. Maybe you should use some of your advice on yourself.
Mom, this is important. You are always interfering.
Well, what's important is that you learn your lesson, that if I tell you to check in when you're out with your friends, you actually do it. And that if you think that you're too adult and too smart to learn your lesson and that you don't need any adults, you're wrong. So
I put tracking on my phone, Mom, so you know where I am. You know.
Well, I asked you to call me and tell me where you were, when you arrived, and when you were coming home, and you didn't do that. So I took your phone away. Very clear cause and effect. I also asked you not to bother me while I was working. Very strong cause and effect. So you know what? Another 2 days without your phone.
This is so really unfair. I told you I was helping Becky. She was in crisis, Mom. In crisis.
When is Becky not in crisis?
That's the point. I need my phone.
Oh.
God, what does it take to get through to you? God, all right. 2 more
Words are just words, Caroline. I need a behavior change. I need to see you do something that makes me understand that you see and understand, not just with words, but with behavior. And I can't talk about it anymore. I love you. I love you. I love you. Use this time to think and reflect. And maybe you can demonstrate through your behavior something that will convince me that you understand.
I'm tired of you taking all of your experience and your past and putting it on me.
I'm trying to help you. Oh. Okay. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Mr. Jackson sat in the dingy linoleum-covered adult education classroom, unclear whether he was miserable or relieved that no students had yet shown up.
I can't believe you sent me here. Denise, don't go away when I'm talking to you.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Oh,
What
you're
do you
talking
mean?
to me?
What? I'm just trying to have something happen.
What
I
you're
have to
doing?
you can't just stay in the same place. You have to have a crisis. You have to confront your stuckness so that you can grow and transform.
No, what I have to do is confront that brat of a child.
I think actually by trying to control her too much, that's what you've always done. You've always tried to control everyone and think that you can manipulate them or lecture them into doing what you want them to do. You need to go away and take care of your life and let them take care of their lives. You need to grow in order to get what you want.
My God, how you've let that little 9-year-old of yours warp your mind. Do you see what you allowed her to do? You allowed her to make you think she's right and you're wrong. And I am now exiled into adult education where I won't be able to deal with the problem the way it should be dealt with.
That's ridiculous. You weren't getting anywhere the way you were doing it before. You had to try something new. You've literally been stuck in the same place since you were a child yourself.
You know what I'm aware of, Denise? You see, I've had a lot of time to think sitting here in this linoleum covered office. Thanks, by the way, for the linoleum. And what I have thought, Denise, is that you've not only banished me from dealing with that child, but you banished me from my one potential adult relationship with Geraldine.
Well, you weren't getting anywhere with her. You're just fighting. Maybe if you just hang on, the student that you're about to meet, the adult student, is going to have an impact on you. And then you're going to have something fresh, some new insight to bring back to your relationship with Geraldine.
Oh, that just sounds great, Denise. Run away from your problems and maybe you'll find the solution.
Just as he was about to leave, furious at everyone in the world for putting him in a new situation, which was very hard for Fred Jackson, Misha Vygotsky walked in the door, ready for his English lesson.
Are you Mr. Jackson?
Yes, I am. You are?
I'm Nisha Vygotsky. I'm supposed to learn English from you?
All right. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Please come in, make yourself comfortable. I'm afraid we only have these hard wooden chairs here.
These desks are awfully small, Mr. Jackson. I barely fit in them.
I'm sorry. Igor, is it? I'm sorry. I'm not really focused.
Nishka, please.
Nishka.
Nishka, yeah.
Nishka, forgive me. Let's start fresh. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up really hard in the Bronx, and I quit high school when I was 14 years old. I had to support my family. They were poor immigrants, and my dad fell ill, and so I've been working in factories and mines when I can. I worked at the docks for a while, but I think Mr. Jackson, sir, I think that maybe it's time for me to do better. Maybe I could better my situation. My parents are both gone now, God rest their soul. And I thought maybe by going back to school, I could use my experiences to help other people, sir.
Nishka, you speak better English than I do.
I speak well. The English I thought I was going to be learning was like writing and commas and the Oxford comma and exclamation points. And I suffer from a little dyslexia, so the words don't always make sense to me, sir.
Nishka, have you ever been in love?
Oh, yes. Nishka had been in love. As a matter of fact, he was the dear Abby of the mines.
I have been in love, sir. I've loved, I've lost. I've had love returned, and it was great. And I've had love rejected, and it hurt, sir. But yes, I am familiar with love.
Nishka, you seem like a wise man. We'll get to your writing and stuff in a minute, but if you loved a woman who did not love you, how would you make her see who you really are?
Well, I would start, Mr. Jackson, sir, with the certain phrase "make her." It's very difficult to make somebody. What I would do, and I'm just trying to help you, sir, is I would allow her to see how I really am. I would allow her glimpses at who I am internally. That's what I would do. I can't force a woman to do anything, or anyone to do anything.
And by allow, you mean force with an iron fist.
I can see why you would get confused about that, sir, but what I really mean is to step back and more like let somebody into your life and show a little compassion and maybe some vulnerability and instead of here's how I am, just show people how you are. Just like, hey, I'm just standing here in front of you naked and vulnerable, and this is what you get when you get me, sir.
And by step back, you mean stand close.
I can see again how that would be confusing for you, but if you stand close, then the other person has to back away, sir. But if you step back, the other person has to move in to get closer to you. So that way you're working together in tandem with the other person.
All right. At least tell me that by naked, you meant I could wear clothing.
I did, sir. I didn't mean to misuse that word. Please do not step in front of the woman naked.
And
Denise,
so,
Denise, will you pick up, please? Denise, Denise,
Hi.
it's me. Okay, I know I'm just your editor, but I have had the most mind-opening experience. I'm in Costa Rica. I just did the ayahuasca.
Oh, Clara.
Denise,
Yeah.
you have got to meet this shaman, whatever you want to
think it's
call him.
shaman. All right. Well, Clara, that's great for you, but I'm sure as my editor, you want me to meet the deadline you gave me. So
No, I want you to switch gears. I had a vision. No more adult romance novels under the bed, on the roof. Look out, it's sharp. No, no more adult romance novels, especially the ones that you center around educational institutions. No, I want you to go deeper into yourself.
what are you talking about?
I want you to write about yourself. Tell the story of who you really are. Denise Montgomery, not just an adult romance novelist.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great, Clara. I will definitely take that advice. And we can talk about it more when you are not stoned and back in New York.
You've got to meet this shaman. He's amazing, especially when he was standing naked. Oh, all right. Okay. Think about it. We'll talk when I get back.
Are you saying, I mean, are you saying that my books are superficial?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And the vision I had, your novels are not going to sell anymore. Nobody wants to read about empty, vacuous relationships. They want to read about real love.
But they're bestsellers, Clara.
The world is shifting, and I saw it.
All right.
Okay, I've got to get back to snack time.
Okay. Fred and Mishka spoke deep into the night, round after round. And each time Fred asked a question and Mishka answered, Fred got a little bit of a crack of insight until finally, when the sun rose over the dingy linoleum, Fred had a whole new way of seeing his relationship with Geraldine.
So, you gotta be kidding me, Denise. I'm sorry, Nishka. Just have a lollipop for a minute, will you?
What?
What? You think after one night of listening to psychobabble claptrap like that, I'm going to be able to develop a core that can resonate with something like that?
I didn't say that. I said you talked, first of all, you talked all night long. You've never, ever had someone to talk to about this. You've been like alone as a substitute, popping from classroom to classroom, hanging on to a childhood fantasy. You finally had a conversation. You have a new outlook.
Look, Denise, maybe in your world out there, people can undergo huge transformational changes after one night of conversation, but that's not how it works here in reality.
Oh, really? How does it work in reality?
It works in reality the way you wrote it. You've spent an entire career, Denise, creating me, shallow, tyrannical, concerned about my petty dictatorship within that classroom. And you think now just because, oh, something feels like it should change, that all the problems are going to go away. Well, it's not that easy.
Okay, fine. No, fine. Okay, fine. So,
Nishka,
Fred
quick.
and Nishka talked longer than Fred had ever talked to anyone about this topic. And yet, after an hour and a half, the entire class period of getting deep, amazing wisdom from Nishka, Fred finally said,
Nishka, I'm afraid your advice has fallen on deaf ears. I'm not deep enough a person to appreciate it.
Oh, Mr. Jackson, sir, remember how I told you that I'd worked in the mines and in factories since I was 13 or 14 years old?
Yes.
I thought maybe I can change. And so I'm trying. Maybe you could change, Mr. Jackson. But if not, I understand the phrase, pearls before swine.
And by pearls before swine, do you mean offering something of value to someone who is not sophisticated enough to appreciate it?
Sophisticated enough, sir, or ready?
Well, then that really hurts, Nishka, but you might be right. If I go back to that schoolroom right now, I go back the same way I left, mean, angry, and determined to achieve my ends through brute force and petulance.
and that's what he did. He went back to that classroom, stormed in, kicked out the other sub,
Get out!
and took over the classroom.
I'm back in charge. Well, hello, Miranda.
Why are you back?
I'm back because I know how this world works. And this world works where people with the toughest skin win. I may have lost my chance with your mother, and that might be a big regret. But I promise you, little girl, that will be the last regret. From now on, I live only on my own terms.
Denise, Denise, Denise,
Ugh,
Denise.
yes.
This is Beth. My
Yeah.
son Bobby came home in tears after he did your lawn because he didn't appear to do it perfect enough for you. And then he tried to take an apple from your tree, and you said, "No apples for you." He's just a child. He's only like 13 years old. He's doing the best he can.
Beth, he's 13 years old and he can't figure out that you have to mow the grass the same length in every place. Like, don't you want him to learn? He's getting money for mowing lawns and you just want him to have like haphazard grass?
You're treating him like a tyrant. And I feel that's because of what happened between us when we were in school together.
I beg your pardon?
Look, I'm sorry, but I wasn't interested in being in a romance with you. I'm sorry. You know, you don't have to take it out on my son years later.
Well, that's pretty forward of you.
The love notes that you used to give me, the
I'm not-
invitation to the prom that I declined.
Okay, no. I'm not saying that I didn't want to go out with you, Beth. I wanted to go out with you. We both know that I wanted to go out with you. I'm just saying, you think that I wanted your son to do a good job on my lawn and then I'm yelled at him because he didn't, because I'm still carrying a torch for you?
The thing is that my son does lawns for virtually everybody in your neighborhood, and they all say that he's the best they've ever had. You're the only one who screams at him. I mean, you're a control freak when it comes to him. Please get a hold of yourself and get over this.
Don't worry, she can't see me. Don't worry, she can't see me. Go on, I'm just listening.
Yeah, just put it behind. We're not
You know what,
kids
Beth?
anymore.
You know what? I think maybe he just shouldn't do my lawn anymore. And maybe we should just never talk to each other anymore. And maybe this is all just a big mistake.
Oh, well, this is why I can't change.
Well, I'm really sorry because when you asked him to do your lawn, I thought we could finally be friends. I mean, I really like
Wait.
you.
What?
I really like you. I always wanted to be friends with you. I just didn't want to date you.
I
But
said
I
this
admire
is
you.
why I can't change, because you never changed.
No, I'm not talking to you.
Look, I'm going.
No, wait. No, please. Could you tell him I'm really sorry? And I'll have Caroline bring over some apples. I'm sure I overreacted.
Thanks, Denise. I really appreciate that. Bye.
Thank you for calling.
That was Geraldine.
That was my friend Beth.
Wait a minute. Is there someone out there
Oh,
for everyone in here?
no, that's ridiculous. People always think that, but just
Oh my God. The philosophical consequences of that are innumerable, because I'm writing a book and I'm basing several of the characters in that book on people in my... Let's not go there.
No,
Who knows where that rabbit hole leads?
yeah. So Fred, What's your excuse now?
My excuse.
Mr. Jackson, I'm never going to be good enough. I can't be my mother. I can't do that. There is nothing I can do to live up to whatever expectations you have about me. And I swear, Mr. Jackson, I will ask my mother to take me out of your class. I will not go to the principal. I can't be who you think I need to be. I just want to be 9.
Miranda, there are 2 things I want you to understand right now. Number 1 is I haven't even been hired back here. I'm trespassing, and if the principal finds out I'm here, she'll call the police and I'll go to jail. Number 2 is I'm sorry. I've been horrible to you. And it wasn't right. You know, I always loved your mother.
I know. I see it when she walks in the room and the way you talk to her. I watch movies. I know what that looks like.
But I've been holding on to a hope, and the truth is, your mother doesn't love me, and that's all right. And I just need to let it go.
But she likes you.
It's different than love.
Like is good. Like means that people don't leave. My father left because he loved my mother. That's what he said. He loved her. He wasn't good enough for her, and he left. If only he just liked her. If he would just liked her, they'd still be together. That's all. It just like her.
Miranda, I'm going to try. If I don't end up in jail for trespassing on school grounds and by some miracle the principal gives me my job back here, I'm going to be a new man.
And let me just be Miranda.
Well, lucky for Mr. Jackson, the principal had been eavesdropping.
Oh, Fred, I just wanted you to know I had the most interesting conversation with a young man, Nishka. I came to the conclusion that those games you play when nobody is watching is really, it's okay. In fact, I encourage you to play more games and to use the hula hoop to demonstrate physics and to use lawn darts safely. And I want you back at this school doing what you do best, not what people think you need to do.
Principal, if I come back, I promise I'll take the best of what I was and combine it with the best of what I should have always been.
That's lovely. And I would like to make one suggestion, that you embrace our volunteer, Geraldine, because she really does want to continue to volunteer. And I would like Nishka to study under you, to be your personal student, apprentice, if you will.
Principal, I will do that, and I promise you something else. In my book, I'm going to rewrite your characters so you're not a carnivorous, smelly slug.
Oh, that's just lovely. I mean, it's about time people see me that way. I mean, just because Denise can't see me that way. Hello. Thank you.
What are you talking about? You're
Come on.
You make everything better. You're the linchpin of all of the positive place that we've gotten to.
What about that way that you had me coming in and under the bed? I wasn't a nice person in that novel, was I?
Well,
was
you
an
have
evil.
some growing to do. We all have lessons. We all have lessons. You've grown
Okay.
and you're a positive mentor. Now you're growing, aren't you, Fred?
Yes. And if you'll just type her in a minute, I'm going to see what I could do about making amends with Geraldine.
Yes, you're gonna go meet Geraldine in just a minute. Can you both just give me 1 minute? I just have one thing I have to do, and then I'm gonna have you meet Geraldine for a minute. I just have one call I have to make.
Why are you FaceTiming me, Mom?
Because I owe you an apology. I think I was scared, and I was projecting how much I'm going to miss you when you go away to college, and I turned it into anger and control because that was easier for me. So I just realized that I have your phone here if you want to come get it, and I'm sorry.
Wow. You really mean it. I'm sorry, Mom. I always just think I have to live up to all your can't I just be me?
Yes, and if you could let me know where you are sometimes, just to be nice, because I'm somewhere worrying, that would be a lovely courtesy.
Relax, just relax.
But I know that, you're going to be an adult and you're going to be out in the world, and that is not really a realistic expectation. So I love you.
I get
I
it.
do have a little bit more work to do. So if you could just sneak in, grab it, and maybe we'll have dinner sometime.
I love you too, Mom. Thanks.
I'm just going to finish this book. I have a deadline. Okay. All right. Chapter 7. Fred poked his head into the teacher's lounge where Geraldine was getting a bad cup of coffee.
Oh, Geraldine, I brought you this latte from Starbucks. It's much better than the coffee here.
Okay, Fred? Thank you.
I want you to know that I got my job back.
I did hear, from Miranda that you apologized to her.
And now I want to apologize to you. I can't believe how immature I've been these past number of years.
Fred, I accept your apology because I haven't been nice to you either. You know, when we were young, I really liked you, but I was afraid to go out with you because you told me what you wanted me to wear on dates. I mean, I felt like you were trying to control me, like my dad tried to control my mom. And I didn't want that kind of relationship.
I know, or at least I know now. I didn't know until very recently, though. I don't expect bells to start ringing and for you and I to get together or anything like that. But I do want you to know that everything I ever did, I did because I cared about you. And that was the only way I knew how to show.
Well, I want you to know that I was wrong too. I shouldn't have used my position as an important person in the PTA to get you transferred. I was wrong, and I hope you'll forgive me.
I do forgive you. And by the way, it allowed me to meet Nishka, and he and I are now chess buddies. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And I want you to know that some of the science things you've taught Miranda, Those were really interesting. I never could imagine teaching her the way you did. So I do hope at least we can be friends.
Hey, recess is about to end and the kids are going to come back in the classroom. But what do you say I blow that off and you and I go out and have our coffee at the restaurant?
That sounds like a really big deal. How about we do something simpler like meet for ice cream?
And
Okay.
that's what they did. Mr. Jackson went back and fulfilled his teaching responsibility to the 9-year-olds. And after that, they had their first date. The end.
And that is our show, my friends. What a wonderful way to close out our run of A Novel Approach. Let's bring all of our actors back out on screen. And on the count of 3, let's give our audience a great big bow. 1, 2, 3. My friends, that is Scott Rawson. Down there is Nishka. That's Eileen Tumlin playing the principal. That is Louise Ritchie playing Geraldine. Nikki Vilas as Miranda. Pat Coppett as our writer, Denise Montgomery. And I am Ken Adams, the artistic director of Synergy Theater. Folks, thank you so much for being here. We are here every Friday at 7 o'clock and Thursday at 6 o'clock with an all-new online improvised show, all based on your suggestions. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, tell your friends. Tomorrow, come back. It is our final trip over the rainbow. Tomorrow in our show, The Little Known People of Oz, you go back to the land of Oz and meet all new characters and travel down a brick road of an entirely different color. Come and share our closing performance of The Little Known People of Oz tomorrow, right here at 7 o'clock. Want to take an improv class? You should go to synergytheater.com and take an improv class. Want to help a really well-deserving nonprofit organization continue to bring online entertainment to the whole world? You can. Go to synergytheater.com, click on Support Synergy Theater, and make a donation. We absolutely rely on your generosity, and it would be very, very much appreciated. My friends, the end of the lockdown is closer and closer every day. I hope you are getting outside. I hope you are being safe, smart, and careful. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the real world very, very soon. Until then, right here, Thursdays at 6 and Fridays at 7. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And always remember that Synergy Theater loves you.